Somewhere right now, a guy is handing a dealership $65,000 for a brand new half-ton with a gas V8. That truck will be worth $30,000 in 4 years. Meanwhile, 3 diesel trucks are sitting on Facebook Marketplace for under $20,000 each, with engines that were literally designed to run 1 million miles. Not figuratively, not that they are tough. Cummins has an actual club for owners who have crossed 1 million miles on the odometer, and they have over 90 registered trucks. One of them, a 1996 Dodge Ram, has over 3 million miles on the original engine. These trucks are cheap because people are scared of the word diesel. They picture expensive repairs, hard-to-find mechanics, and complicated emission systems. For some diesels, that is true, but not these 3. Today, I am breaking down the 3 most overlooked diesel trucks on the used market. Trucks that cost less than a loaded Camry, but will still be running when your grandkids learn to drive. I'm going deepest on number 1, because if you have ever wanted a truck that simply refuses to die, that is the one. Let's get into it. Number 3, from 1999 to 2003, the Ford F-250 Super Duty with a 7.3-liter Power Stroke. This is a truck that Ford stopped making over 20 years ago, and mechanics still talk about it like it is a family member. The 7.3-liter Power Stroke is the engine that made Ford a serious player in the diesel truck game, and to this day, die hard. Cummins fans and Duramax guys will admit it is one of the most reliable diesel engines ever bolted into a pickup truck. And yet, because it says 1999 or 2002 on the title, people scroll right past it looking for something newer. That is a mistake. Let me tell you about a truck I inspected last year. A buddy of mine was looking for something to pull his fifth-wheel camper on weekends. His budget was $18,000, and he was looking at newer half-ton gas trucks. I told him to forget all that and go find a clean 7.3-liter Super Duty. He thought I was crazy until I showed him a 2001 F-250 XLT 4x4 with a 7.3, a 6-speed manual, 214,000 miles, 1 owner, all service records. The asking price was $15,500. He bought it. That was 14 months and about 22,000 miles ago. Total repair costs since purchase: a set of glow plugs for $280 and a fuel filter. That is it. The truck pulls his 12,000-pound camper like it is not even there. Here is why the 7.3 Power Stroke is special. It was manufactured by Navistar, and the same basic engine was used in school buses, delivery trucks, and commercial equipment under a different name, the T444E. That means this engine was not designed for your weekend hardware store run. It was built for commercial duty, hundreds of thousands of miles of stop and go, heavy load punishment. When Ford put that same engine in a consumer pickup truck and gave it a speed limit of about 215 horsepower in stock form, they basically gave it a retirement job. The engine is massively understressed in a pickup truck application. The block is cast iron. The heads are cast iron. There is no timing belt to replace because it uses a gear-driven front cover. The fuel system is hydraulically actuated electronic unit injection, which sounds complicated, but is actually incredibly durable when maintained. The HEUI system uses engine oil pressure to fire the injectors, which means clean oil is critical. Keep up with 5,000-mile oil change intervals and use quality 15W40 diesel oil, and the fuel system will go 300,000 miles without blinking. The B50 life rating on the 7.3 is 350,000 miles. That means if you had a fleet of these things, half of them would still be running strong at 350,000 miles with proper maintenance. In the real world, 500,000 miles is common, and there are documented cases of 7.3 Power Strokes crossing 1.1 million miles. One owner reported 1.1 million miles using synthetic oil and changing it every 5,000 miles. That is not a fairy tale. That is just what happens when you maintain a properly engineered diesel engine. Now, used prices. This is where it gets interesting. You can find a solid 1999 to 2003 F250 or F350 with a 7.3-liter Power Stroke for $12,000 to $20,000, depending on mileage, condition, and location. Rust-free trucks from Texas, Arizona, and the Southwest will be at the higher end. Northern trucks with some frame surface rust will be cheaper. Do not be scared of 200,000 miles on a 7.3. That is just getting warmed up, provided the truck has service records and has not been heavily modified. Here is my inspection checklist for the 7.3-liter Power Stroke. First, check the oil. Pull the dipstick. If it is black as midnight, that is normal for a diesel. If it smells like fuel, that is a potential injector issue. Not a deal breaker, but negotiate accordingly. Second, look at the turbo up pipes. These are notorious for leaking exhaust on the 7.3, especially at the bellows connections. You may hear a ticking sound under acceleration. It is a $400 to $600 repair, so factor that in. Third, cold start it. A healthy 7.3 should fire within 2 to 3 seconds on a cold morning with functioning glow plugs. If it cranks for 10 seconds, the glow plugs or the glow plug relay are probably shot. That is a $300 fix, not a walk-away issue. Fourth, check the cam position sensor called CPS. These fail randomly on the 7.3 and will cause a no-start condition. A new cam position sensor is $25, and any Ford guy carries a spare in the glove box. If the seller does not know what a CPS is, the truck probably was not babied. Who should buy this truck? Anyone who wants a tow rig that will outlast 2 car payments on a new truck. Anyone who lives in a rural area and needs something that just works every single day, no questions asked. Who should skip it? If you want modern creature comforts like a backup camera, CarPlay, and lane assist, you will need to add those aftermarket. If you have never owned a diesel before and are not willing to learn basic maintenance like draining the fuel water separator, start with something newer. And if you live where road salt turns frames into Swiss cheese, be careful. The frame and body will rot before the engine ever gives up. But if you think the 7.3 is overlooked, this next truck might be the best-kept secret in the entire GM diesel lineup. People chase the newer Duramax trucks and completely ignore the one generation that every diesel mechanic agrees was the sweet spot. Number 2, the 2006 to 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD or GMC Sierra 2500 HD with the LBZ Duramax. If you ask any experienced diesel mechanic to name the single most reliable Duramax generation, they will almost all say the same thing, LBZ. 2 letters and a number that mean bulletproof. The 2006 to 2007 LBZ Duramax is the Goldilocks of diesel truck engines. It had enough power to be genuinely capable, 360 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, paired with the legendary Allison 1006-speed automatic transmission, and it landed right before the more aggressive emission systems showed up on later models. I had a customer 2 years ago, a landscaper running a small crew, pulling a 14,000-pound equipment trailer 5 days a week. He was getting killed on repair bills with a 2008 gas Silverado 1500 that was eating transmissions. I told him to look for a clean LBZ. He found a 2006 Silverado 2500 HD crew cab, 4x4, with 168,000 miles for $19,000. Every diesel guy he talked to told him it was overpriced. I told him to buy it immediately. That was 2 years and about 50,000 miles ago. He has done oil changes, fuel filters, a transmission fluid service, and 1 set of brake pads. Total maintenance cost, roughly $1,400 for 50,000 miles of heavy towing. Try that in a gas truck. Here is the engineering story. The LBZ Duramax is a 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8, co-developed by General Motors and Isuzu. The block is cast iron with aluminum heads, which gives you the strength of iron where it matters most, and the heat dissipation of aluminum up top. The compression ratio is 16.8 to 1, tuned for the perfect balance between power and longevity. not too high to stress the internals, not too low to sacrifice efficiency. The Allison 1000 transmission paired with the LBZ is the same basic platform used in medium-duty commercial trucks. It is massively overbuilt for a pickup truck application. With proper fluid changes every 30,000 to 50,000 miles, the Allison will go 300,000 miles without a rebuild. I have personally seen them go further. LBZ trucks regularly surpass 300,000 miles with nothing more than scheduled maintenance. Many have crossed 500,000 miles. The engine itself is a known quantity at this point. Nearly 20 years of real-world data show the reliability of the engine, and the failure rate on stock LBZ engines is remarkably low. The most common issues are not even engine-related. You are most often looking at glow plug failures on GM diesels of that era, and occasional injector replacements at very high mileage. Both are straightforward repairs, and aftermarket solutions have improved on the originals. Used prices for clean LBZ trucks are rising because the secret is getting out, but you can still find solid examples for $15,000 to $22,000 with 150,000 to 250,000 miles. For the buyer who knows the weak points and keeps up with maintenance, this is exceptional value compared with a new pickup. Compared to a 2017 or newer Duramax that will cost you $35,000 to $50,000, the LBZ is half the price, with arguably better long-term reliability because of its simpler emission setup. Inspection checklist for the LBZ. First, check injector balance rates. Any competent diesel shop can scan these with a Tech 2 or equivalent. If the injectors are wildly out of balance, you are looking at a potential injector replacement in the near future. Budget $2,000 to $3,000 for a set of 8. Second, listen for turbo whine. A healthy LBZ turbo makes a smooth spool sound under acceleration. Any grinding, scraping, or excessive whistling means the variable vane turbo might be sticking. About $1,200 to rebuild. Third, check the transfer case, especially on 4x4 models. GM used a transfer case with a known pump rub issue where an internal anti-rattle clip wears into the housing and causes a slow fluid leak. If the transfer case fluid is low, find out why. Fourth, look for rust on the frame cross members and bed mounts, especially on trucks from northern states. The drivetrain will outlast the body if the truck spent its life in the salt belt. Who should buy this truck? If you tow regularly and want something that handles 12,000 to 14,000 pounds without breaking a sweat. If you want diesel fuel economy on the highway, the LBZ will give you 18 to 22 miles per gallon empty and 12 to 15 miles per gallon when towing. And if you want a truck that a diesel shop can work on without plugging it into 3 different computers first, who should skip it? If you want the latest safety tech and a modern interior, this is a 2006 or 2007 truck. If you have zero mechanical aptitude and want a fully dealer-supported experience, a newer truck is a better fit. All right, we have covered numbers 3 and 2. This last one, number 1, is the diesel truck I would buy if I could only own one truck for the rest of my life. And I am not exaggerating. This is the engine that has the most documented examples that reached 1 million miles of any diesel pickup engine in history. If this straight talk is helping you, hit subscribe. I have got more videos coming that dealerships would rather you did not see. Number 1, from 1994 to 2007, the Dodge Ram 2500 or 3500 with a 5.9-liter Cummins. This is not just a truck. This is a religion. The 5.9-liter Cummins inline 6 is the most legendary diesel engine ever put in a consumer pickup truck, and I will argue that with anyone, anywhere, anytime. And right now, you can buy one for less than a mid-trim Tacoma. That is insanity. Cummins has an official program called the High Mileage Club. It exists specifically to recognize owners who have crossed 100,000 miles, and it goes up from there. The club has well over 20,000 members. 90 of those members have crossed 1 million miles. The single highest recorded mileage on a Cummins-powered Ram is over 3 million miles on a 1996 Dodge Ram with a 5.9-liter engine. The truck around the engine has been rebuilt and repaired many times, but the core engine block, the one that rolled out of the Cummins factory in Columbus, Indiana, is still running. Let me tell you why. The 5.9-liter Cummins was never supposed to be a truck engine. Cummins designed the B-Series platform for construction equipment, agricultural machinery, and commercial applications. It was built to run at low RPM under constant heavy load for tens of thousands of hours. When Dodge approached Cummins in the late 1980s because they needed a diesel to compete with Ford and GM, Cummins basically handed them an industrial engine and said, "Here, put this in your truck." Dodge had to redesign the Ram's frame and engine bay to fit it, and the result was a pickup truck with a commercial-grade power plant that was hilariously understressed in a consumer application. The block is cast iron, the head is cast iron, the crankshaft is forged steel, the connecting rods are forged steel. The engine uses a gear-driven design for the timing system, no belt and no chain to stretch or break. The 12-valve version from 1994 to 1998 uses a Bosch P7100 mechanical injection pump that is 100% mechanical. No computer, no electronics, no solenoids telling it what to do, just fuel pressure and precision machining. That pump alone has a service life of 500,000 to 700,000 miles, and the injectors can go 250,000 to 1 million miles depending on fuel quality and filter maintenance. Forged steel matters here. The later 24-valve version from 1998.5 to 2007 moved to electronic fuel injection with the VP44 pump and then the common rail system. These are slightly more complex and slightly less invincible than the 12-valve, but properly maintained 24-valve 5.9-liter engines routinely hit 400,000 to 500,000 miles without an overhaul. The engine's B50 life rating, which is the mileage at which 50% of engines would still be running in fleet service, is 350,000 miles. And every single Cummins owner will tell you that number is absurdly conservative. Used prices. This is where it gets ridiculous. The 12-valve trucks from 1994 to 1998 are appreciating in the enthusiast market, and clean examples with reasonable mileage sell for $15,000 to $22,000. But the third generation, 2003 to 2007, trucks with the common rail 5.9-liter are the sweet spot. You can find a solid running 2004 or 2005 Ram 2500 with 180,000 to 250,000 miles for $12,000 to $18,000. Compare that to a new Ram 2500 Cummins priced at over $60,000. You are paying a fraction of the price for an engine that has already proven it can go 3 times further than a new truck is expected to. Repair costs are where the 5.9 Cummins really separates itself. Because the engine was designed for industrial use, the parts are built to be serviced and rebuilt. An injector replacement on a common rail 5.9 is around $2,000 to $3,000 for all 6. But that might not happen until 300,000 miles if you change your fuel filters religiously and buy good diesel. A water pump is about $250. A turbo rebuild is $500 to $800. These are real numbers, not dealer prices. Compare that to modern diesel trucks where a single emissions-related repair can run $3,000 to $5,000. Now, here is the thing nobody warns you about with the Ram itself. The Cummins engine is almost indestructible. The truck around it is not. The Dodge Ram made from 1994 to 2002 had a weaker automatic transmission, the 47RE, and that was the engine's only real enemy. It can be rebuilt for $2,500 to $3,500 and upgraded with aftermarket parts that solve the weak points permanently. Or you can find one with a manual transmission, which eliminates the issue entirely. The 2003 to 2007 trucks got the 48RE automatic, which was an improvement, but still not as bulletproof as the engine it was bolted to. Rust is also a concern. Dodge was not known for strong corrosion protection in this era, so look for trucks from dry climates. inspection checklist for the 5.9-liter Cummins. First, check the oil cap while the engine is running. If you see excessive blow-by, meaning a lot of smoke or pressure coming out of the crankcase, the rings could be worn. Some blow-by is normal on a high-mileage diesel, but excessive blow-by means a rebuild is coming. Second, for trucks from mid-1998 to 2002 that have the VP44 injection pump, make sure the lift pump is working. The VP44 relies on a lift pump to supply fuel at adequate pressure, and when the lift pump dies, the VP44 usually fails shortly after. Replacing the VP44 costs $1,200 to $1,800. Replacing a lift pump preemptively costs $200. Third, check the front end. Ball joints, tie rod ends, and track bars wear out on these trucks, especially if they have been lifted or run larger tires. Budget $600 to $1,000 for a complete front-end refresh if needed. Fourth, and this is the pro tip, find a truck that was used for highway towing. I am serious. A Cummins that spent its life pulling a trailer on the interstate at steady RPM with warm oil temperatures is in better shape than a low-mileage truck that sat in a driveway and only made short trips. Diesels thrive on load and heat. Short trips and cold running are what kill them. Who should buy this truck? Anyone who wants the most reliable diesel engine in a pickup truck, period. If you are buying one truck to last 20 years and 500,000 miles, this is the only answer that makes sense. If you tow heavy, the Cummins Inline 6 produces torque like nothing else on four wheels. And if you are the kind of person who changes your own oil, does your own brake pads, and actually reads an owner's manual, you will save an obscene amount of money over the life of this truck. Who should skip it? If you want a quiet, refined daily driver, the 5.9-liter Cummins is loud, it shakes, and it rattles. That is part of the charm, but it is not for everyone. If you have never worked on a truck and do not want to learn, the older Rams can nickel and dime you with non-engine issues such as window regulators, dash cracks, and HVAC blend doors. And if you care about emissions and fuel standards, these pre-DPF trucks run cleaner than people think, but they do not have the modern systems that newer trucks carry. Here is my final take. The 5.9-liter Cummins is the single best diesel engine value on the planet right now. You can buy a truck with a proven million-mile powertrain for the price of a used Corolla. The engine was overbuilt from day one because it was designed for 18-wheelers and bulldozers, not grocery runs. Every dollar you spend maintaining it comes back tenfold in longevity. So there it is. 3 diesel trucks the market is sleeping on. The Ford 7.3 Power Stroke, the commercial duty engine in a pickup truck body that will hit 500,000 miles with regular oil changes and fuel filter service. The LBZ Duramax, the sweet spot Duramax that every mechanic calls the best one GM ever made, paired with an Allison transmission that just will not quit. And the 5.9 Cummins, the undisputed king of diesel longevity, with over 90 documented million-mile trucks and counting. You now know 3 trucks you can buy for under $20,000 that have proven they can outlast anything rolling off a showroom floor today. Next time a salesman tries to put you in a brand new truck with an $800 monthly payment, remember that some of the toughest diesel engines ever made are sitting on the used market right now, begging to be driven for another 500,000 miles. If you want to know which diesel trucks to absolutely avoid, the ones that will drain your bank account by 100,000 miles, I did a whole video on that. It is right here, like if this helped. Subscribe for more truck advice, drive safe, change your fuel filters, and I will see you in the next one.